Hello and welcome. It's a good day to be on the farm. My name is Chuck and this is Riverview episode 3, where we're going to become a cattle farmer, a rancher, a milkman. I don't know. We're going to give them something. In the first two episodes we harvested. Episode 1 we harvested the wheat. Episode 2 we harvested the canola. In this episode we are going to harvest this hay that we also mowed and tedded in the first two episodes. And we also traded out our round baler for this square coon baler, and we traded out a windrower for this front attached windrower here, and we're going to see what we can do. Now, I'm going to leave the baler attached. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to unattach the baler to just start. All I'm going to do is work with just the windrower. We're going to unfold this thing and just make a couple of rows down here just to make it easier to gather. This thing is wider than it looked in the picture. We're going to lower that and turn it on and hopefully get a nice row of hay here that we can come back and pick up. Now this little dog leg of the field is kind of awkward, so that's why I'm not trying to fit down here with the baler on the back. It would just be a little bit too much. I don't think there's room to turn around there and to do all the things, so we're just going to do 3 strips like this, and then we'll get the baler attached and see if we have enough horsepower to bale and windrow at the same time. I think we're going to be okay. I was originally concerned because I thought this thing used 80 horsepower, but I think this front-mounted windrower only uses 20, which means we'll be right under where we need to be with this Massey, which is good news for us. So that's going to go ahead and get all of that into a nice neat row. And the one thing you can't do very well with this setup is turn. So anything that requires a turn, we're just going to have to divide off like so and work differently. So let's get this lowered, get our third row going. But the advantage is we're going to have some hay bales ready to go fairly soon, and we're not going to have to do much with them. Once we get them, we can just drop them straight into the cowshed and go from there. So that little bit of grass over there will just have to stay extra for now. Let's go ahead and just turn that off. We'll leave it unfolded though and get our baler attached again. I might sneeze, hold on. Nope. Okay, false alarm, no sneeze. And we're going to get attached to the baler. Excuse me. There was that sneeze. I knew it was coming. Alright, so we're going to switch back to the front. We're going to lower this and turn this on and start getting our line. And then once we get squared away, we're going to switch to the back and unfold this baler. We're going to back out a little bit so we can see everything and turn that on. We're going to see if this tractor can handle this continuous baling method. So this is my preferred way to bale, and given the amount of bales we're going to have to make on this farm to keep we didn't lower the pickup. Well, we're making a turn, so let's just keep this windrower going for a second and we'll come back for that once we're squared away. So it doesn't do very good on the turns, so here now we can lower the pickup. We should start picking up the hay as we go, and this should just start squirting out hay bales from the back of this baler. And the nice thing is we don't even have to stop once we get these corners taken care of. Now on our first pass we will have to get these corners addressed, so let's go back to the front. We're going to lift this, and that way we can go all the way into the bushes here. We're going to go as far as we can to get that baler to pick up that row there. Then we're going to back out here, and we're going to lower this back down. And you guys have seen me use a rear mounted windrower on my other episodes or my other series. This is just using a front mounted one, just as one less pass that we have to make when we're making hay, and that's always good for us. So always good to save one time over the field if we can. Again, we'll go far enough to try to see if we can get that grass put in here, and then we'll lift that up again, try forward just a little bit farther, and then we'll back this up and we'll square this off, and missing just a little bit but not enough to fuss about. We'll lower this and again get started on our row. And there's our first bale coming out. I apologize for trees in the view here, but it's a little bit tight of a fit down here. And we'll lift this up and then we'll pull forward to get that entire row in here if we can. And then we're basically just going to turn around, and we might take a little bit out of this line, but that's okay. We'll just come back this way, and we're going to reverse and see if we can get as much of this caught into this row as we can, just missing a little bit on the edge there. Alright, now we're cooking. So I don't know, tell me what you guys think bale wise off of here. I think we'll get about 6 to 7. I'm going to put the over under at 7.5. So go ahead in the comments, give me the over the under right now, and we'll see how close you guys are to guessing the number of bales that we're going to get off this field. You know, and this is a little bit tight of a turn down here, even with the one row. I think we're going to take a second row off this end just to make it easier to turn around. So let's go ahead and lower this here. And this will give us more room to maneuver down at this end of the field, which will always be nice. So I was thinking, one thing I could do to make this series a little different than the Erlengrot series that I've got going would be to make the days go a little bit faster, but also lengthen the amount of days in a month. So on Erlengrot, I'm doing ×5 speed, and usually it takes me about 2 episodes to get through a day if I'm working the whole month. I tend to do half-an-hour episodes, maybe a little more, 35 minutes kind of top, and that seems to be about right, I think, for the content that I want to create. But I've seen some other YouTube farmers who are doing ×10 speed on their videos, and that seems to be working out pretty well for them, because then each day is about a half an hour. So I was thinking not really changing the amount of time in a day, but switching to the month. Ooh, what are we stuck on? Oh, there we go. Switching the months to 2-day months, but switching the days to ×10. So it'll still be the same amount of time to get through a year, except each episode will be a day. So unless we're skipping days for some reason, each episode will basically just be a day. And we're going to go ahead and just see if we can get that cleared up here. And we'll just get this front part lifted up, and we'll gather this row that we're down here. And we're going to miss a little bit and see if we can turn around and come back. We'll have to come back for that end bit, but that'll be okay. So I don't know, what do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comments below. I'll probably switch it actually at the end of this episode to just try it out. But if you prefer the ×5 speed and the longer days and the 1-day months, that's fine. But I think it'll just be a little bit different of a format I'd like to try out and see how it works. So I think I probably will switch it if I remember at the end of the day, and luckily it's already almost 4 o'clock in game time, so we will get the end of the day in this episode. Once we get this hay fixed up, we'll go ahead and get some cows and do what we need to do to move forward to the next part of the month. I also have got to go down there and get that straw picked up as well. but I might do some of that off camera. So, I mean, how many bales have we made so far? 1, 2, 3, 4. That should be enough to get us started with cows. So maybe what I'll do is just finish this row and then shut this whole thing down. And then just come grab a couple with the front loader, and then switch to getting some straw. Yeah, why don't we do that? So let's go ahead and we'll shut that off, and then shut this off, and then we're just going to unload those, and then we'll just pull around here like we're going to go ahead and finish this row. Actually, we'll come and turn the other way so we can go backwards. So you guys have seen enough baling to at least get this started. We're going to shut this down. I am going to take this front loader Manitou, or telehandler, and just grab a couple of bales here. And did we drop any down here? No, we did not. So I am ecstatic that there's a telehandler on this map. I like working with bales a lot better when we have a piece of equipment like this. Makes it a lot easier to move those around and to manage them. And given the amount of cattle that are available or that we can put in here, I want the easiest way to manage square bales possible, which is definitely this. So let's kind of push this to kind of line those up. Then we're going to back up, lift this up. We're going to line this up here. And we'll double stack that. Like so. And then we're going to do another. So we're at 5 bales right now. I know that's not my final count, but I'll make sure that you guys know how many we ended up with. I'm just not going to make you watch me put them all together. So let's back up here. I'm going to stack this one on top of this one over here. That way we'll have 4 bales to dump right in to feed our cows immediately. The rest of this will get stacked somewhere and saved, which is fine. We've got a whole other field we can bale and mow here in a future episode, but this will at least get us started. So we got our 2 bales of hay ready to go. That's enough to let us get some cows delivered. So let's go figure out how many cows we want to put in this barn to start, and then we'll go from there. So the other question we have to ask ourselves is, are we doing dairy, or are we just doing cattle for selling the cattle? As a rancher, I kind of was leaning towards more just selling, but I don't know if we still get milk off those or not. But we'll just kind of go from there. So let me jump out of here. Oh, actually, I'm just going to turn that off, because the other thing I want to do is, get this one. And we're going to, nope, not the front one. Detach the rear. Detach the front. And we're going to run down to our field real quick where we have all that straw. And it's either this or the Massey, the only 2 only 2 tractors we have that have enough horsepower to run this forage wagon, but we want to get a little bit of straw picked up so we can bring that in for the cattle as well, and that will start producing our slurry and our manure so that we're ready to go. And then before dark, we also need to get that tipper full of canola down there from the end of the field put under shelter somewhere, because that doesn't have a cover. But we're going to take this and turn this on and lower the pickup. And we should be able to just drive over this, just like the baler, and pick up this straw. And this will be easier than making bales out of this. We eventually will make straw bales once we start mixing TMR. But in the beginning, we're probably just going to get calves, start small, and so we just need some loose straw to throw in there for manure. So that'll be easy enough to do here. And again, this will be another job that maybe I'll do off camera just to kind of show you that it's done, but I just wanted to show you kind of how this works. So we've got this forage wagon. We're going to have about 7,000 liters of straw after this row right here. So we're going to go ahead and just turn that off, lift the pickup, and we're going to run this up to the cow area as well. And I won't make you watch me pick up all of this loose straw, but just know that that's where we got it from our wheat that we harvested in episode 1, and we're using this forage wagon that we took down there, mistaken as a tipper as it was in the beginning, to get some loose straw available for our cattle as well. So I'm going to park this right here, and then we're going to just basically run back down. So we shouldn't need to water them, but we should be able to feed them and give them some straw right now. So let's go ahead and buy ourselves so Brown Swiss and Holstein are our dairy cattle and produces milk. Angus for profit can be sold. Cows like this grass, hay, silage, and TMR. Additionally, they require water. This is a calf. Animals that are healthy and older than 18 months can reproduce. So if we're just doing cattle, this is just for the beef. Grass, hay, silage, and TMR. Okay, so we've got 2 beef cows, Limousine and Angus, and a Holstein and Brown Swiss. I do want some milk, don't I? Yeah, given that we only have $4,000 and we're starting off early, let's just see. Brown Swiss, it is 60 of them, is 15,000 with delivery, and we've got 4. Okay, let's just take a look at our cash. So we're going to go ahead and borrow. So we're at $35,000 on our loan right now, and we're just going to go ahead and get 60 of these so that we've got some cows there. So we're basically back at our same 4,000. But now, if we look at our cows in here, we've got 180 chickens in there. They've got some here. They productivity, milk, straw, slurry, bada bing, bada boom. And they need food. They need everything. So we're going to take this and look, our cows are out there in our field, in our pasture, where we're finishing up. All we got to do is finish picking up that hay there. So we're going to drop this off here. Those should go in. And give them a little bit of food. And we're going to run out to the field and grab those other 2 that we have stacked as well. So I guess we'll do dairy cows down here, and maybe we'll do beef cows up at the other pasture, depending on how everything comes together. So we'll pick those up here and try to drive slow enough that we don't drop them. Watch out, they're coming for the gate. Gotta get this hay inside before they eat it all from the field. Alright, so then we're going to come in here and drop this off as well. So that's 4. Is that going to fall? Yep, there we go. Alright. And then we're going to get this up and drop this straw in there just to get them started. And it'll take that 7,000 for sure. But that now our cows have, still in the red, but they have 29,000 liters of hay, and they've got 8,000 liters of straw. And again, those are all going to stay pretty red because this can hold 1,000 cattle, so it was going to take a lot to get them up to the green, but they've got something. So that should be enough for them to start getting healthy, and then we'll start letting them grow. So we've done it. We got cows on our farm. That was kind of our goal for this series, was in August. Can we get enough things moving forward to get that started? So we've obviously got some baling to do here to get the rest of that hay off. I will stack it somewhere in the yard near where we can feed it to there. We also need to get the rest of this straw off as well. And I'm going to bring the forage wagon back over there, but I'm actually going to drop that off, and we're going to go dump that canola into our silo. And then that will probably just about wrap it up for this episode. And we'll go from there. So probably between this episode and episode 4, I will spend a little bit of time getting the rest of this straw picked up, getting the rest of that hay baled, and getting ready to move on to September. But all in all, I would say very productive first day on the farm and first 3 episodes of this series. I'm going to like having square bales. I'm going to like having that telehandler. I'm going to have to practice with that wheel loader and see which one I like better. I haven't really used a wheel loader ever. Telehandlers I really like, so if we don't, I don't think we need both unless we're going to have one at one of the cow sheds and one at the other, which maybe is a wise idea, but we'll figure that out when we get there. So that might be the next piece of equipment that we sell off, depending. And then we got to start taking a look at these fields and how we want to start managing them. And that's why I'm selling off a lot of equipment early, is just to try to get some money to offset these starting costs. And again, $35,000 on a loan is nothing. That wheel loader would take care of that. So that is fine, but I don't want to go too terribly far in debt too terribly early. So, all right, let's get up this hill here. And this is the farmhouse. This is not where I want to be with a tipper, because there is no room to turn around up here. This is the wrong space, but this is where we will go to sleep when we decide to do that. All right, let's see if we can. Oh, that was a tight turn. I wanted to go up the next hill. Oh, come on. Don't dump all my canola everywhere. All right, so, that was a wrong turn we don't want to make again. Yard's a little confusing, but we're going to make it work. This is the hill I wanted to go up. And I think we are probably going to turn off field stones, so we'll probably sell that rock picker at some point in time as well. So this is the other cow pasture with grass that we need to come up, mow, and bale at some point in time. But that does not have to be today. And then way up this hill here is a giant silage pit. Some rough storage there, and then here's our silos and another place to store equipment under this giant awning. So, but this should be our silo here. We'll pull in here and dump out this canola. Wasn't a ton of canola, but you know, every little bit helps. And we're going to take a look at, so now we have no wheat, no barley, no oats, but we do have 8,898 liters of canola, and then we got some straw. Doesn't count the hay, but we're now making some manure and some slurry, which we can hopefully use later in the series. Alright, so let me go ahead and jump out of this here, walk away a little bit so that you can hear me talk. Last thing we're going to do is mess with some of the settings. So like I talked about at the beginning of the episode, we want to do days per month 2. It doesn't take effect till next month, so I'll still go to September, but then we'll have 2 days in September, and we're going to do our time scale at 10 instead of 5. And then we want to go down here. We're going to turn off field stones so that we don't have to worry about it, and we'll sell that stone picker off probably here in a little bit. So field stones and plowing are off. We want periodic plowing off when we're doing precision farming because it does not like it when you plow. So we'll have to figure those things out, but we will leave on weeds and crop destruction and go from there. Alright guys, that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Give it a subscription if you haven't subscribed already. Ring that bell if you want alerts when my new episodes are live. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.